So today on Remote Control, we're taking an affectionate look at an actor my father once called the poor man's Lee Marvin. Now, for those who have never heard this gentleman, it's going to ring a few bells. Powers Boothe, who unfortunately passed away of pancreatic cancer in 2017, he would still be acting today, was considered probably pound for pound one of the best actors of his generation. Now, born in Snyder, Texas, he grew up on a cotton field, but eventually turned his eye not only to sports, but in drama production. He was the first in his family to attend college, and this, what do you call, multifaceted Renaissance approach to his life led him to Southwest Texas State University, and he eventually graduated, and he became a part of the Oregon Repertory Company with roles in some major productions, including Henry IV, where he played the title character, Troyes and Cressida, and others. Now, he was on the stage before he became a big TV star. Now, he's known for roles in a lot of 1980s and future productions, but we're going to stick to very specific ones that I think really have to be talked about. Now, first and foremost, he played probably the only key, a major character, or what he called a respected character in the movie Red Dawn, where he played an airline pilot who crashes down and helps the rebels who were trying to battle against the invasion of the Cubans and the Russians in a small American town. And he describes in no uncertain terms what they have to do to survive. Talks about how the famous scene around the campfire where all the Chinese are pissed off and there's 500 million of them, and the guy said, "Isn't there a billion?" He said, "No, not anymore." So he's every part he did, small or large, had a lot to do with his personality. Present a lot, and it's funny. He also played an Air Force pilot in By Dawn's Early Light, which is considered one of the most cheesiest movies of the 1990s in relation to the World War III aesthetic at the time. It was talking about a nuclear war that is basically started by accident. It has a great performance, great cast. Rebecca De Mornay is a co-star. James Earl Jones, Darren McGavin, Martin Balsam. And he, in a movie that's so over the top, he makes it seem real. He seems like an Air Force pilot that not only is compassionate, but he believes in the strength of America in the air and on the ground. And for anybody who hasn't seen that movie, it really, really stands out. But later on, he appeared in a lot of major productions. Attila, Deadwood, he had a great performance for years. Deadwood is a very popular movie with a lot of people. Before that, Tombstone. He showed up in different parts. Even played Philip Marlowe for a while, of all things. Playing the Private Dick, and he could play anything. Sin City, of course. But he had a style like Lee Marvin, like the dad had mentioned. It was very unique. Once you saw him once, you knew it was a Powers Boothe performance. He seemed, and he had a twinkle in his eye. He had a humor to him. He had a way to present himself, and that's why when he first came to national attention in 1980, playing Jim Jones in the CBS TV version of The Guy in a Tragedy. For those out there, all five of you who don't know what The Guy in a Tragedy is, it's a story of Jim Jones, a psychopathic minister who turned into actually a crazed cult leader that made the majority of his followers follow him into the wilds of Guyana to make their own country. And due to pressures, internal and external, he convinces all to commit suicide in one of the most mass negative incidents in world history. All these great minds, these great people, had their lives destroyed because they believed that Jim Jones was the second coming of Jesus Christ. But the way that Powers Boothe played him, there was no easy way to say it. He played the evil of Jim Jones in his method style. There were scenes in there where basically where Jim Jones could be seen as a compassionate leader, and Powers Boothe plays it to the hilt. There's an interesting scene towards the end where he's telling everybody to come to commit suicide, and I didn't know this, and it only happened later on. Specifically, Powers dyed his hair a certain tone of black. When he would sweat in the jungle, the black dye would come out. Just the attention to detail in the part, the way he wore the sunglasses, his body movements. He studied how Jim Jones had presented himself. Now, he won the Emmy for that, and it's kind of really interesting that he won the Emmy. That was the year of the big Screen Actors Guild strike, and he won, and he showed up at the event. A lot of people were boycotting the ceremony, and he defeated Henry Fonda and Jason Robards for the Emmy for best movie or miniseries actor. And he also used to joke. He said it was either the bravest moment of my career or the dumbest. But it drew a lot of attention because we really thought he was going to be a huge, bigger than he was, like TV or movie star. And it always seemed there was something, not his work of course, but something was holding him back. And what's nice, he became a full voice actor later on. Did a lot of the Marvel and DC voices through the years. So he was known for TV. He was known for movies, voice acting. And when he passed away, the first thing I thought about, he's never really had that big role that would put him over the top. He was on Nashville, the drama in the last couple of years of his life, and he played an okay role. But Powers Boothe, it's too bad you never asked him to play the life of Lee Marvin. Wouldn't that be great? Or some of the other He-Man actors. But every time I see Lee Marvin, I think of Powers Boothe and the connection. He was the last really of the huge male presence on television and movies. 24/7 man. And he wouldn't play that. He wouldn't play it up. Like I said, he rarely did interviews. He rarely talked about his craft. And he was so dedicated. Like, he was beyond method, as we say. So on this Sunday afternoon, it's Family Day weekend in Canada. We wish you a happy holiday. And as we like to say in the Powers Boothe universe, I'll accept this, but I work for you guys. Have a good one. Bye.